Hey everybody, this is Marcus from your Maztech 315, and today I'm here to talk about how easy it is still to get into PC gaming in 2023. Stay tuned. Hey, I hope everybody's having a good Thanksgiving here in 2023. Just wanted to make a quick short video and show you some footage on how people can still get into PC gaming with a small budget. Whether it's you just want to test it out or it's for a younger child and you kind of don't need to invest a lot because they just want to play Roblox or some other games that are web-based. But the reason this big blue tower, which is actually small, it's just the way the camera is angled, is in front of me, is because this is a prime example of how you can get into PC gaming without really needing anything at all other than maybe taking out your old tower and dusting it off. I think everybody owned one of these Dells or HPs or one of the other companies, the pre-built computers, at one time or another. This one is the Dell Inspiron 600 series, the 660. What's cool about this is I'm going to turn it around really quick. See if I can get the camera in here so I can open up the side to show you. A lot of people do this, call them sleeper PCs, but this is just a simple, quick tutorial on how to get into 2023 gaming. Alright, so the components inside, you ready for it? It is an Intel i7 3770. We got an R9 200 by MSI. It's a AMD dedicated graphics card. I zip tied it. You can't really see it, but there is a 240 gigabyte solid state drive in here and the original 1 terabyte drive that I took and wiped and put for gaming storage. I got the SSD in here for Windows 10. Unfortunately, can't get Windows 11, but it runs smooth and we'll be able to use this for a couple more years. Maybe they'll change something up. Maybe they'll keep giving security updates. Regardless, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, especially at this price point. And then there's 16 gigs of RAM in this machine. I know people are looking at this and seeing the aftermarket Corsair power supply unit. That was one of the things that I liked about this, was you could replace the power supply unit if you needed a graphics card that didn't just run off of the motherboard power but actually needed external power to run. So I did set up this as budget, but I did also put in a GTX 1650 Super to test it out as well. And it ran phenomenal, and the games were all above 60 FPS, medium, high settings at even 2K, so I was impressed with that. But today I just put this card in because just to show it off, and I'm selling this PC, and this is a great budget point. Most people have these computers in their home. Or you can pick them up on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. Craigslist is still a pretty good place to grab stuff, either free or next to nothing. Sometimes Facebook has a tendency to charge more than eBay. I would definitely check out eBay because you can pick up a lot of these pre-built computers for cheap. And that graphics card in there, I think I paid $40 for. And it's not the greatest, but it does run games at 1080p, 720, and 1080p at 45 to 60 FPS, depending on the game, at medium and low. Some games ran better than others. I did run into a couple of problems with trying to run Harry Potter, Battlefield 2024, and anything needing DirectX 12, so that is a caveat. You're going to want to look for maybe a graphics card that's a little newer. But still, you could pick up an RX 550, a 560, a 570, a 580. Those are all good cards. I mean, and then Nvidia side, it could be 1060, 1070, 1080, all the way up to the 4000 series if you want to invest that kind of money in this machine. I wouldn't suggest that. I mean, you could. I think as far as you should go is maybe the 1650 or the 1650 Super or a 1660 Super as far as the Nvidia side, and then maybe a 6600 XT or some around that in the AMD side. But the RX 580 is still a relevant card to use on the AMD side. The 1080 on Nvidia is still a relevant card, so don't feel like you have to have the 4000 series graphics card to get playing it. In a lot of games, depending on what they're going to be, if you have internal graphics, you can just run it on that. This one offered an HDMI as a option if you had internal graphics, so it would still run on most computer monitors or TVs, which is another budget thing you can pick up. So with this computer I'm going to sell for $125. It's coming with a keyboard and a monitor, and I feel like most people can see where that would be a pretty good investment due to the fact that they may not want to get into PC gaming, or they have a child that's just running light games, or even an adult. I don't even mean to kind of put anybody in and say that, you know, everybody has their needs and whatever they want to do with computers. And the other thing is this, I know PC game is super easy to use keyboard and mouse, in which you really should learn how to do that, because that's going to help you. Keyboard and mouse is way faster than a controller, but I mean, I use a controller. I play RPG games, so I'm not really worried about how fast I am. But it's a good discipline if you're going to get into it to learn it, because it is a better way to play PC gaming. And I mean, that's why consoles have a place and, you know, computers have a place. The one thing I do like about computers, though, is for the most part, you can play almost any game, any generation. The options of, you know, of using it for other things, schoolwork, whatever, keeping your photos, entertainment center, whatever else you want to use for a computer. And it could be even with something like this. I mean, some of the things this offers, and I would be surprised that anybody would use them, but I did the other day. One of it is the DVD-ROM. People still have DVDs. I mean, everybody streams, but you could stream on this computer if you needed to take a portable device to watch YouTube, or if you had streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, whatever on here. It takes an SD reader, which most phones take an SD reader, older models at least, and you could put that in to download your photos. Obviously, multiple ports for USB. I don't know if you could run VR without having a pretty decent graphics card, but hey, I think a 1080 would do it, or, you know, it's worth a shot. Depends on the game you're going to want to play. Anyway, let's get into the footage and stop listening to me ramble. I hope everybody has a safe holiday and a happy new year. Hopefully I can post some more videos. I haven't really been as active on YouTube as I used to be, but I'll drop this video and hopefully more after that. Thanks for staying tuned and watching, and I'm going to cut this out anyway, so have a great day. Alright, so here we go. We're getting into the gaming portion of it. A couple things that I forgot to mention were the Wi-Fi on the Inspiron 660 was built in, but you can get a card if you needed wireless internet. It does run off of an Ethernet. You don't have to go with this specific model. You can find tons and tons of pre-builts, even newer ones that are going to allow you to have Windows 11. Definitely look for a mini tower. Try not to get a slim tower or a small tower. It's going to be harder to find a graphics card on the used market that'll fit that, unless you get a low profile one, and even then it may not fit. So make sure that you get like a regular size, mid-size tower. It may not come with 16 gigs of RAM, or it may, so shop around. eBay is a great place. Just like I said, Craigslist is a great place. Facebook Marketplace is okay if you really want to just grab something really quick. But we're looking to start out at $100. All in all, it cost me around $100 to build this PC. Some of the components came with it. The 16 gigs of RAM, the aftermarket power supply was already in there, and the SSD. I just purchased the graphics card. But you can find cheap SSDs. You might find the PC in your closet, and then really all you have to do is purchase a solid state drive to have a faster Windows and purchase a graphics card to get going. If you're only looking to play Minecraft or web-based games, a lot of emulators, things like that, older style games, you could get away with just using integrated graphics. You don't have to get an aftermarket graphics card. Some pre-builds actually come with graphics cards in them, which are really good. But all in all, it's all going to depend on what you're willing to spend. This is just to show you that even in 2023, these pre-built Dells and HPs still have a purpose. You definitely can game. Obviously, I have the monitor up so you can see what the frames per second is, how cool it is, what the percentage is being used. I mean, this is Resident Evil Village, and it's running pretty well on 30 frames a second, which isn't great. But at 1080p, 30 frames a second, $100, which is cheaper than most things you're going to purchase today, especially groceries, gas, things like that. And PCs are a lot more expensive today than they were a long time ago. It doesn't seem that way, but they are. Just graphics cards alone, $2,000-$3,000. You can get them cheaper. You can go really crazy with spending money on PC parts, but you don't need all the bells and whistles. The RGB fans don't make your PC run any smoother, so if you're looking for something pretty basic where you just kind of want to have it for an all-around PC, or you just want to see if it's going to be something for you, then this is the way to go. There's tons of videos on how to do this, and I'm not the first person to come up with this idea. Toasty Bros, Linus Tech Tips, you name it. YouTube's full of people that have done this over and over again, so it definitely works. And from this point out, I'm just gonna let you watch the games and see kind of what I was running and how it looked. A few videos from this one, you're gonna be able to see the 1650 in action. It wasn't the Super, I was wrong, but you can put a 1650 Super in here, 1660 Super, 6600 XT. I could throw out a bunch of numbers and names and all that, but it's going to be what you want to spend, and just make sure that the i7 or whatever you have in there is going to be able to handle it and not bottleneck, which is a totally different video. But long story short, if one component runs harder than the other one, it's not going to work as smooth. So you want them both running good together, and there's calculators out there that you can use for free that you put in the components you have, and it'll tell you if there's a bottleneck or not. I wouldn't really worry too much about it unless you went out and bought like a 2080 and you put it in here and you're expecting like 1,000 frames per second. That's probably not going to happen. That's going to be a huge bottleneck. But 1650 is as high as I'd go. You can get those cards for under $100. So if you're willing to go to the $200 mark, let's say, you'd have 16 gigs of RAM, which is pretty good. You'd have your graphics card that's going to run perfect, your solid state drive that's running Windows really good, and I mean Harry Potter, 146 frames a second. So this is where it's going to show you where a better graphics card is going to get you better gaming. But all in all, just to get started, you could literally just dust off the one in your closet and you could start gaming it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button if you liked it. Hit the dislike button if you disliked it. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching. Peace.